All right, so let's talk about cooking in the oven. Super simple, right? Baking in the oven is kind of an easy way to prepare something and not have to focus on it the whole time while you're cooking. It is a good idea to take a look at it and see how it's developing, but it's more of prepare your chicken, get it on a pan, and then throw it in the oven. So there's different ways and different pans to use. Personally, like if I'm baking chicken, I like to use a pan like this. So the benefit of a roasting pan is the chicken sits above on the rack, and then the drippings come off and fall into the pan. Two things come up. If the pan gets hot enough, they could get some flavor that kind of develops in there and goes around in your oven. And the other idea is it doesn't just like swamp itself in the liquid that's coming out of the chicken, and it helps it be able to brown up and crisp up a little better. And that's how you get a little bit more crispy chicken from an oven. Dry brining, you can get crispier chicken too. So when we cut up that whole chicken, if you covered it in salt and put it in your fridge for half a day or so, or even overnight, uncovered, that fridge will kind of dry it out there a little more, take away those liquids, and it will help it bake and get a little bit crispier in the oven. We're using skin in the oven, that kind of gives you a little bit of the crispiness of the chicken. Now obviously there's all other kinds of things you could cook in the oven, but I can't cover them all in this course. Like you could roast. And when I'm roasting, I'm using a baking sheet like I showed you when we went over all the equipment for a kitchen. So let's go ahead and bake that chicken that we already cut up. So when you're baking, it's really important to preheat your oven. So go ahead, preheat your oven. I typically go almost everything that I'm baking, I just start at 350. If I need to turn it up a little bit for some reason, I'll go a little higher. But for a general rule, when you're baking chicken or pretty much anything, go for 350. So I'll go ahead and warm up my little Breville here. They're small enough, you don't have to preheat them sometimes. So now we got that chicken that we cut up. And guys, just go ahead and use whatever your favorite seasoning is. So I'm gonna throw a lemon pepper on here. It's already pre-made. There's all, you can make your own seasoning, but go ahead and grab your favorite seasoning and we'll make this simple chicken. So right now I only have the plate here. Nothing has had raw chicken on it except that plate. Talking about cross-contamination again, right? Now this chicken's pretty dry. It's been in the fridge. I need the seasoning to be able to stick to it. So what I'm going to do is give it a light coating of olive oil and then put my seasoning on it. We've already got the salt on it, so I don't have to worry about that. If your seasoning has salt on it, be careful, because if you seasoned the chicken before, then you add your seasoning, it might get too salty, right? So that's something to consider. Check out your seasoning. I'm just going to go ahead, grab all this chicken, I'll put it on this cutting board. And I got one hand here that's not touched anything. And this is how we prevent that cross-contamination. So this is my raw chicken hand, if that makes sense. So we just want to put a little bit of oil on. A lot of this is going to fall off. And then I'm just going to rub it into that chicken, okay? And then I'm going to go ahead and hit it with that seasoning. We're going to season both sides of this chicken. Flip it all over. Remember, dry hand, raw chicken hand. Add a little bit of oil. You're just giving something for that seasoning to stick to. Now, depending on your oven, sometimes you got to flip your chicken. But I know my little oven, I don't have to, so I'm going to put it skin side up. That way I can get a nice crisp on the chicken, on the skin. Kind of separate it a little bit. Give it some room around other pieces of chicken. That way it doesn't steam and it pretty much bakes. And now that's it. You're ready to throw it in the oven. A few things to consider here with temperature. So we preheated the oven to 350, but this is also bone-in chicken. Oh, there it goes, it's ready. This is bone-in chicken, so that bone coming from the fridge is pretty cold, right? And it's gonna keep that meat close to that bone colder. So we're gonna kind of have to think about that while we're cooking it. So that meat around the bone is gonna take longer to cook. You gotta make sure that you're getting an internal temperature of the chicken closer to the bone. So when you put your instant read thermometer and you're gonna shoot for 165 for that meat near the bone. The other meat might be a little bit warmer, but that's fine because it's dark meat. If you were cooking just a chicken breast in there with no bone, it'd be really simple, right? You're gonna probably pull it somewhere a little after 160. And we're gonna shoot for about 35 minutes and we're gonna check it. Everybody's oven's different. Everybody's oven cooks faster or slower, so you gotta kind of monitor it. But make sure you use your instant read thermometer. Check it, watch the skin. If it's starting to get really brown, you're getting close, check the temperature with your instant read thermometer. And this is something you're gonna test with you and your oven and your instant read thermometer. But at the end of the day, you want the chicken to be 165 so you know it's cooked all the way through and there's no chance of getting sick. Now after that chicken's been in the oven, now I can clean up this whole area. And I'm getting ready for, the food being ready to serve. So all this raw chicken stuff has to disappear. All right, the chicken is done. I just shut it off in the oven. It actually got a chance to cool a little bit while it was in here. Baked chicken. The beauty of this is the liquid's got to go to the bottom of the pan. So the chicken kind of sitting on top by itself. Grab my little dull knife here. I just know it's getting dull and I gotta sharpen it. All right, let's grab one of those chicken thighs. Hope you can hear that. The skin's a little bit crispy on top, but it's definitely juicy. You can really tell. I mean, all that liquid's already still coming out. I know my knife's a little bit dull here, but I'll try to get into this thigh. Might have rested a little bit longer, but as you can see, right there, oh, hot, 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 hot. You see how juicy that is. So you got a little bit of crispy on the outside, juicy in the middle. That's the beauty of baking or cooking in your oven. Super simple, really easy to do. So guys, that's cooking in the oven. So keep trying this out. Get a pan like this, elevate the chicken. Make sure you always preheat your oven. Follow the temperature while you're baking it. Keep an eye on it to make sure it's not browning too much. And then you're gonna get just perfectly juicy, crispy chicken.